Okay, well, in addition to Donald Trump campaigning 24 hours a day, at some point, are people going to focus on the words he's saying? Because in addition to calling the Jan 6 rioters hostages this weekend, I want to share what he said about the U.S. economy and specifically the stock market tonight. Watch this.
We have an economy that's so fragile, and the only reason it's running now is it's running off the fumes of what we did, what the Trump administration. It's just running off the fumes. And when there's a crash, I hope it's going to be during this next 12 months, because I don't want to be Herbert Hoover.
Okay. So Donald Trump just said, Jason, he hopes the stock market crashes in the next 12 months. The stock market is not owned by Wall Street hedge fund fat cats. The stock market, who owns the stock market? Pension funds, insurance companies, 401ks, firefighters, teachers, nurses, who are checking their 401ks every night to figure out, can I retire in the next 5 years? But Donald Trump wants the market to crash, so the average American blames the current president. What does that say about A, Trump, and B, the American people, that we might fall for that, Jason?
Well, here's the thing, Stephanie. Donald Trump is a terrible guy, right? Like, that's not new. He says terrible things about people all the time. He doesn't care about most people in this country. Even the people who like him don't like him because they think he cares about them. They like him because they think he's going to go against the people who they don't like, who they can't get their hands around. But Stephanie, I think there's something even more important here. The message is very clear. It's not like it's a difficult contrast. You have a competent guy in Joe Biden who has flaws, and then you have a monster and an incompetent dictator in waiting on the other side. So the issue is not how these two sound. The issue is, will the guy who's actually in office right now, Joe Biden, who has plenty of things to run on, lowest unemployment rate for African Americans, gas prices going down, all that stuff is great. But will he do the things he needs to do on the ground to make sure the people who support him can get out and vote? Is he doing more on voting rights? Is he doing more on putting people on the ground? Is he going to Michigan to talk to people there? Don't be the second Democrat to screw up because you don't go to Michigan. Look, Joe Biden can beat Donald Trump. The guy doesn't win the popular vote. But this is Joe Biden's to win, not Trump's to win, as long as Biden recognizes the resources that he has at his disposal. Trump can say whatever. It's not going to change how he's going to vote or the people are going to vote for him.
But, Michael, can't one argue Joe Biden is getting the job done, right? People say they vote with their pocketbook, and Republicans love to say the economy is terrible. If the economy is so terrible, then why on earth would Donald Trump be wishing that the stock market crashed?
Because he's an idiot. I don't know. It's the dumbest thing in the world to say. I mean, think about it. The man says, I want to be a dictator and I want the stock market to crash. Okay, so you're 0 for 2 in my book, Skippy. I mean, where do you think America, where does it go after this guy tells you he wants you to lose what you've earned in the market? All of you folks who for the first time got to play in the market because you got a little bling in the bank and you're going to put a little bit aside so that you can retire or even take a vacation. This guy wants you, right? This guy right here wants you to lose your life savings, your earnings. Why? Because it benefits him. It benefits him. Oh, and by the way, he wants to be a dictator. Part-time, because he only wants to do it for 24 hours. So look, folks, grow up here. Everyone just get their heads out of the pie that's in the sky, thinking that Donald Trump is going to offer you something you don't have. If you don't have it, he's damn sure not going to give it to you. So just stop pretending that the light bulb is going to go on and all of a sudden you're going to walk in the room and magically have all the things you've ever wanted. That's not what Donald Trump does. He's not Santa. He's not anything other than out for himself. And the moment you understand that, you kind of realize the guy that's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, yeah, he actually gives a damn about you. He's trying his best. I disagree with some of his policies, but you know what? It's a damn sight better than the guy who wants to be a dictator.